is, so this quote is great. It's out of a book called U Squared. If you want to accelerate your rate of achievement rapidly, you must search out and vigorously employ new behaviors, new attitudes. You must be willing to break out of your routines in order to make the quantum leap. So I'm going to share with you a success strategy that helped me tremendously when I was building my companies. I've recently started back, I'm going to say, working very hard. I don't like to use the TR word. Working very hard to get back into this routine. But I'm going to share something with you, and there's a few owners in here particularly that I think this could, I mean, really dramatically transform your business and your life. So the strategy is just 4 hours a week. And the 4 hours a week is 4 hours of away time. So you schedule out 4 hours, half a day, to be out of your office, away from the phone, away from the internet. And what do? You work on only your highest value activities. So the work that you just did is a high value activity. Because what you did was you created an action plan to implement an opportunity into your business. So Jake, you have all kinds of ideas, and you know what it takes to grow your business, right? You know the things that you need to do to go to the next level. And the thing that probably holds you back the most is you run off taking care of this fire, or you take care of that fire, and you switch in hats.
Yes, sir.
Well, this puts you in an environment away from all of that, in an environment where you're just doing this type of work. So there's no email, there's no internet, there's no phone. You don't need any of that to do the type of work that you need to do in order to grow your business. Like right now, did any of you use email to do what we just did? How about the internet? Did we need the internet? No. Did you need your phone? Nope. Same thing. This is thinking time. It's planning time. It's learning. It's growing time. This is what you need. A legal pad, a pen, a pencil. You need an action plan. So I've given you a couple of tools. You can try and use something like this, or you can create your own. You read, you listen, you learn. Computer is okay, but you don't need the internet. If you have the internet, you're gonna get derailed. Where do you do this? Not your office, and probably not at home. This is where I used to do it. I used to go to the public library. It's quiet. Sometimes, I don't know, it depends on your library. Sometimes there's people there, sometimes there aren't people there. I've also gone to friends' offices. They don't bother you at a friend's office. So if they have a conference room or something that you could just kind of come in, say hi, go into the conference room and work there, go there. Coffee shops are kind of okay. I did coffee shop last week. I put on my noise canceling headphones and I got my cup of coffee, and I was kind of able to work. For those of you that get our email newsletter, of course I had to have my caffeine, and I had my herbal ADD medicine that's made out of like artichoke, ground up artichokes.
I got a better question. Did you have the scarf on?
I did not have the scarf on. He's going to get me with that scarf thing. That scarf's going to end up online somewhere.
Well, that's going on Facebook.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that's my suggestion. So let me tell you what's going to happen to most of you when you do this. So you're going to get your stuff together, and you're going to say, okay, where do I go? Where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? Think this through ahead of time. Think it through like right now, while you're here, while it's fresh in your mind. Think about that place where you can go to do this. So you're going to get there. And you're going to sit down. and you're going to lay your stuff out. And you're going to notice something. It's really quiet.
And it's all up to you.
And it's all you. And the clock is going to be going like this. Just like this one. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. And 5 minutes is going to feel like 5 hours. It's pretty amazing. So the first time you do this, you might do absolutely nothing for 3 hours and 57 minutes. And that's okay. Because when you do it next week, hopefully it won't take you 3 hours and 57 minutes. Hopefully it'll only take you 3 hours. And when you do it the following week, I don't know about you, but I can only go so long with wasting that much time. So you're going to figure out, how do I make this time productive? But this is a commitment. This is discipline. This is what successful people do. If you want to work on your business, you got to get out of your business. So quick story, somebody yesterday was saying, well, how do I get myself out of wearing all of the hats? So I luckily picked up the E-Myth when I had my first business. It was the carpet cleaning and dyeing company. In the first year, I was out there cleaning carpet on my own. The trap in that business was getting off of that first truck. The majority of people in that business are in the truck. And I tell a little bit of this story in my book. But I knew that if I was on that truck, I wasn't going to make any money. So within a year, I had the second truck. Within another year, I had 2 more. Within another year, I bought another concept. It was a franchise that I bought, the first one. The same people that put that one out put out another one, and that was the bath refinishing company. I did not learn how to refinish a bathroom. Didn't pick up a gun, didn't know how to mix the chemicals. If a bathtub had to be done, I couldn't do it if my life depended on it. I did that on purpose because I read the E-Myth. The E-Myth told me work on the business, not in the business. I could pay somebody $12 an hour to go refinish a bathtub. The work that I was doing was worth multiples of that, which is the work that you guys should all be doing. If you could pay somebody $50 an hour, and this is true for all of you, I can't say it in every room, but I could say it in this room. If it's $50 an hour or less, you should not be doing it. If you can hire somebody to do the work for $50 an hour or less, you should not be doing it. Because $50 an hour, if you're only working at $50 an hour, how much can you make a year? You can make barely $100,000 a year, right? So you got to delegate all of that stuff. Ari, I mean, if he's doing anything that's less than $100 or $200 an hour, he's wasting his time. He probably does. I asked him yesterday, well, do you do this? No. Do you do that? No. Well, who does that? Somebody else. Somebody else. Well, what do you do then?
I heard his answer to that question.
See, the truth of it is, the stuff that he is working on and the stuff that Becky is working on they're working on the stuff up here. They're working on the stuff that's driving the business forward. How do you go from 5 million to 15 million in just a few years? You change what you're working on. If you're up on a roof, how are you going to grow your business? That's not where the money is. We said it yesterday. The money is in the sales and the marketing. Figure out how to charge more. Don't get up on a roof. That's not where the money is. Right? The money is in the customer. Figure out how to get more of them. That's where the money is. So if you walk out of here with that plan that's in front of you, the notes that you've taken, and you commit to this, you'll have a new business in 90 days. I absolutely believe that. By the way, in my business, back then, so I'll give you the quick version of the story. So that business, within 2 years, I was the largest. There was 150 something offices around though they had offices in other countries too. But I was like the number 1 or the number 2 office. And I never, ever picked up a bathtub or a thing. I also, during that time, was probably the highest priced guy in my market because I wasn't out refinishing bathtubs. I was figuring out how do I double my price. And I figured it out. And I sold more at double the price than I did at half the price. I did it by doing this. I worked on the business. I didn't work in the business. Now, the reason I say 4 hours is because all of you can afford 4 hours. And if you can't, boy, you better rethink what you're doing. So here's the key now. So what happens when you get good at 4? Oh, I love this. Is it going to be easy? No, but it's going to be worth it. You got an example to look at here. If you go to John's office, you'll see a real good example of it there too. I haven't been to Billy's office, but I would imagine there's a pretty good example of it there too. Once you get good at 4 hours, then what do you do? You get good at 8. What do you do when you get good at 8? No. Then you go to 2 days. Then you go to 3 days. Right? So this guy was a mentor of mine for a while. I was in his program. I didn't work directly with him because I didn't make enough money at the time. But still, I soak up everything. If you want to look up the strategic coach, Dan Sullivan. But Dan says you have to work less to make more. He's absolutely right. He teaches entrepreneurs. I was in his program for 6 years. I was in his program during the time that I grew my businesses. And by the way, when I had the bathtub refinishing company, that's when I also started the company that then became a national franchise company. And it was a handyman company. I had one of the largest handyman companies in the country. And Addie will tell you I'm the world's worst handyman. Absolute worst, yeah, worst handyman. But what did I work on? I worked on building the business. Because I understood it wasn't about screwing stuff in, drilling stuff in, hammering stuff in. It was about building customers. So you have to work less to make more.